past, I don't want to, and I'm not at the top, but I know in God's will, I'm going to be. I
Right.
want to pass that my, things that I learned down to the next person. So
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to be, blessed and not be a blessing to others.
Oh, I love it. Welcome to Fearless Freedom, where we display unique individuals and their brands. I'm your host, Beloved, and today's guest, we have the beautiful LaDeidra Stokes Roberts. She's a registered mental health counselor intern, a owner, founder of RBS Counseling and Educational Services, LLC, and Kids Life Coach. She has two beautiful children, Kaden and Deanna. LaDeidra began her educational journey at South Carolina State University in Orangeburg, South Carolina, HBCH. She's currently attending Capella University and pursuing her Master's of Social Work. She has a Master's of Art in Human Services, Counseling, Marriage, and Family, Congate. She's also have in Master's of Science in Human Services, Social and Community Services. Busy woman, busy woman. LaDeidra is
Yeah.
currently working as a behavior specialist at Kids Central Inc. She's also the owner and works as Kids Life and Educational Coach at RBS Counseling and Educational Services. She has experience in social services, education, and mental health services. She's currently provide kids life and educational services to children and family. Fearless Freedom, let's welcome to the mic, LaDeidra.
Hi.
Hey, ma'am.
Hey, how are you?
But not busy, but very productive woman.
Hey, I like that.
Yeah, very productive woman. So how you doing on this morning?
I'm doing amazing. I'm trying to get up and get myself together because I had a long night. So me and my son stayed up late, and so he got me tired this morning. But I'm great.
Okay, yes. Yes, I love the answer. Okay, so we're gonna start off with a few questions for you on today, okay?
Okay.
So tell us about RBS Counseling and Education Service.
So RBS Counseling Educational Services is a program that that was you know established to help children and families with life coaching and educational coaching. The reason all behind this is I watched my parents, help a lot of people.
Mm-hmm.
My mom helped a lot of people in the community, like everybody ate at our house. She was very good at, engaging in, helping other families and things like that. So
Mm-hmm.
my sisters and I agreed to help other people. That's all we knew. That's what our parents taught us. So I kind of turned that into a business because that wasn't something we learned. We were breeding
Right,
from that. So
right.
yeah, so it was amazing to be able to adapt that skill from our parents to get out there and serve the
There
community.
you go.
First, it started serving at church. So, like, it starts from there, serving
Mm-hmm.
your community, serving church in the church. So that was amazing to start this program to help people.
Yes, and serving is amazing. Serving is
Yes,
amazing. It's not only for the others, it's the joy it gives you as you serve others.
that's true.
So that's what I get. So
Yes.
we all get a little piece of that light as when we serve and when we reach out a helping hand to others. So that's good. So what inspired you to create this service? So you said your parents, your mother and your father.
Yes, my parents. Definitely. My business is named after my mom, originating
Okay.
with Stokes. So, the reason for that drive is just, and I talk about this all the time, at her service when she passed away back in February of 2014. I saw so much people from the community that came out to her service, and like it was amazing, like how many cars and the
Mm,
queues, and they were able to share, any testimonies they had for her, and so that was amazing. That kind of like gave me the idea to do this because she helps
right.
people in the community of Elsa,
Right.
South Carolina.
Right.
So
Her life spoke. Her life spoke for her. Her
yes,
life spoke on her behalf. Yeah.
right, it
Uh,
did.
right. Her
Yeah.
heart. Right. That's good. I love that. I love that. Good heart. Okay. So what drives your passion towards mental health counseling?
Different things. So like different areas of my life um, touched me and gave me that drive and motivation to tap into mental health.
Mhm.
Because I have experience in education, a little bit of experience in education, more of social services and mental health. I have more of my experience, especially in child welfare. Um,
Okay.
so what drove me is like my nephew Elijah is autistic.
Okay.
He was diagnosed, I think he was like between 3 or 5, he was diagnosed. So I started like doing my own research because
Mhm.
we didn't know how to, adapt to what he had, going on. So I had to learn the background of it, learn about the neurological ways of how he thinks. I had to
Mhm.
learn about his
Mhm.
sensory issues. So I started learning all of those things like, okay, what is his sensory needs? What does his sensory processing look like? What type of foods kind of trigger him? Or what kind of foods drive him to do better? So I had sat there and learned all those things.
Wow.
Yeah, so I noticed like the brain waves and how he thinks. My nephew is highly on the spectrum. So he's very intelligent. So like being intelligent can get you in trouble sometimes too. So sometimes sometimes he get in a little bit of trouble because he's too
We
smart.
got you got it.
He's
Yeah,
too
you
smart. So
got a lot. Yeah.
yeah, so like that inspired me. And then my nephew, Ty, he passed away when he was 5 years old. But the just learning more about the trauma informed care and childhood trauma that impacted me because I was in college when it happened. So it affected my grades. It affected my daughter at the time. My whole entire family was affected by it. So I was just watching that too, and as well as the generational trauma because
Mhm.
I had an uncle that passed away too. So like just watching the patterns and how we can break the cycle. So
Mhm.
yeah,
Mhm. So this is personal for you.
yes,
This
it
is
is.
very personal.
It is.
Okay. Okay. So okay, in your opinion, why having awareness? Why should we be more alert to our mental health?
I
Why
always
is
tell
that so important? Why do you think that's so important?
I always tell people take care of your mental health like your physical health. So
Hmm.
a lot of people are so like worried about their health, but if you don't worry about what's going on in your brain, cognitively, your emotional well-being,
Hmm.
um, everything else doesn't function right. So
Uh-huh.
mental health is so important. And I know back in the day we didn't talk to counselors and things like that. We talked to our pastor. We kept it in the family. So like a lot of things were like kept, as a secret. But we didn't know any better. That's how all
Right.
the generations were raised, like to,
Right.
you know, take care of one another. And
Right.
so mental health is now becoming a big, thing for everyone. And I'm really excited to be a part of this
Hmm.
movement and a shift in the mindset. So
Yes, the awakening of it, like you said, like breaking the pattern, like opening up eyes and hearts to see, like we don't have to do it the same way.
Mm-hmm.
Like we can reach out for help, and it's okay to reach out for help.
Yes.
you know.
Yes.
So yes, breaking that pattern. So as you interact with our youth, so what could you perceive, or in your opinion, perceived as obstacles for this generation compared to what we had to overcome in the past?
I think it's two things for me. I think one is we weren't back then. Parents, a lot of parents didn't get in trouble for disciplining their kids, and when I say like corporal punishment back in the day for my generation, like when we were younger, that was to teach you a lesson.
Uh-huh.
So it wasn't child abuse; it was a lesson learned, and we learned from that. And
Yes.
so now I don't see you know I see a big change now because for me, I'm working in backhand in the child welfare scene. So we
Mm-hmm.
see a lot of kids come in for physical, abuse, and they remove for their parents. And so now we're trying to put in place more and more preventative care, so to help the family create other ways to discipline the kids
Right.
in a different manner.
Yeah.
And yeah, so
Right.
I think that's a big change. And
Mm-hmm.
another thing is back in the day, like, all the community stuck together. So like I said on one other interview, you have my mom taking care, if another kid comes in the house, she could discipline him, she can stay on him, make sure he got great. So it was a community raising the kids.
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm.
but now it's like, oh no, this none of my business, shut the door. um,
Right.
but like growing up, I'm blessed that I was part of that community where other people was a big part of my life,
Mm-hmm.
other than my parents. So I
Mm-hmm.
really think that because of that culture shift, I think that impacted our kids. That's great.
Right. That's why I believe it's important to create those tribes now.
Mhm. Mhm.
Create those tribes. Like, yeah, you might get upset, but like, like, like speaking out on it as we doing
Mhm.
now. Speaking out on it, like it's not okay if little Johnny, just using a quote, little Johnny, is acting out, and he might don't want to hear it from you, but he can receive it from
Yes.
someone else.
Yes.
So that may save little Johnny 5 years down the road.
It does.
You
It
know.
does.
So I believe it's so critical to create those tribes in these days.
Yeah.
Awesome.
One thing I do like is that I don't know about South Carolina or Georgia, but in the state of Florida, you can spank your kid with an open hand.
Oh,
So yeah, you still can do that, as long as it's not any marks or bruises or any of that stuff, weapons. Like they still allow that. So
right.
yeah,
Much needed.
yeah. I
Hey,
don't say it's the only form of
no, it's
discipline, but
not. It's
it's
not. It's
yeah.
I believe it's based off that individual.
Uh
It's based
huh.
off that individual. One person you might can talk to them and they like, okay, I don't want to do that again. Like they think twice. And another person you might have to use the hand a few times. So
Yeah.
it all depends on that
Yeah.
individual, I believe.
Yeah.
Yeah. But it helps. It saved me from a lot. So,
I know, right?
so okay, so okay, so how do you envision your brand in the upcoming years, upcoming months, upcoming years? How do you see RBS Counseling and Education Service?
I think it's gonna be a positive movement to be able to tap into the communities, tap into the media and music industry as well as schools, to talk about trauma informed care and self care and mental health services and life skills. So I think like now we talk about like how we can help the youth, and you got grown up, adults that need the help too. So like
Right.
sometimes I have to say to myself, hold on, I didn't learn this, so I'm trying to learn this now as an adult. I'm gonna learn it.
Right.
So it's different things that, we're teaching and trying to, be a impact on the communities. So I want to expand my business, like I say, in the South Carolina, Georgia, and Florida area. So just build a connection, build my own brand, build a team, and, just take off from there.
I love it. I love that. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. We need it. Yes, we need more of that. We need more of that
Yes.
love. We need more of that. It'll save a whole lot.
Yes.
A whole lot. So, okay, from your area of experience, what advice could you give the listeners on today?
Um, I would say be true to yourself. I always talk about authenticity. You always see on my page, my personal and my business page, I have my family on there. I share moments with you. I share my wins with you. I share my losses. I mean, my challenges, my everything, because I want people to see my different walks in life. You have a lot of successful people just talk about, the material things they got.
Right.
But I want to show people behind the scenes of how I got where I came from to now. So I want to share my wins, my losses, and
The
things like that.
process.
The process is, yeah, because when I want to pass, I don't want to, and I'm not at the top, but I know in God's will, I'm going to be. I
Right.
want to pass that my, things that I learned down to the next person. So I don't want to be, blessed and not be a blessing to others.
Oh, I love it. Yes, girl.
Yeah.
Yes, yes. Just overflowing that love,
Yeah.
overflowing that knowledge, overflowing
Right.
it, just sharing it.
Yes.
Sharing it.
I know. And then another thing is, this year, like what's your goal for 2021? I'm like spiritual growth. I want to, have a better connection with God, so I can, the things that I learn or experience, other people can see that and believe in themselves as well, and that He is real and that
Right.
yes. So I know, I always ask people, like, I'm a therapist, what is your spirituality? Because I don't want to start talking about that and then
Mm-hmm.
they're not into it. So I am respectful in that manner. But for me, I grew up in the church, so I always feel like spiritual growth, all those other things can come down as a blessing when I get my spiritual growth together.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
And that's how you'll be able to enjoy all those other things also. Cause you
Yes.
know how we get them nice cars and them nice houses, and you still ain't got that smile.
Right.
You got to get the order first. You
And
got to
I
get
always
the.
tell people now that never connect your happiness to a person, place, a thing, or object.
Yeah.
You got to define that within yourself, and I had to learn to detach myself from,
Mm-hmm.
like not being happy because of something or somebody or, issue or event. I'm trying to detach myself from that, so my feelings I can be happy regardless of the storm.
And still learning.
Yes, yes,
Still learning, still
yes,
learning in different areas because we forever growing.
yes.
We're forever growing and transforming. So,
That's
yes,
true.
girl, I thank you for coming on today. It was a pleasure speaking with you.
Thank you.
It was a pleasure speaking with you on today.
Yes.
I thank you and I wish you and your brand, your business, RBS, I wish it much love. I wish it blessings and growth. And girl, this expansion, because we need that.
Oh, and thank you for having me. This is a huge blessing for me.
You're
So,
welcome. You're welcome. You're welcome. Okay, okay. And thank you guys for tuning in. Remember, click subscribe, like, and share as we continue to encourage each other in this growth process. So, join us next week as we continue to chat fearlessly. Good day, loves.
bye.
Bye, Didi.